Channel 13 is committed to creating a safer community. Tonight, families around central Indiana are hoping someone has that one piece of information that can solve a murder. Andrea Moorhead has more on their prayer for closure and how it's getting even easier for you to see something and say something to close a case.
I don't have to tell you that our city has seen what feels to be a rise in crime. The workload for detectives increases, and unfortunately, not every case is solved. Now, this very complex issue has perhaps created a racial divide, but the entire community can help in solving the unsolved.
I pray that maybe she'll one day come to me in my dreams and tell me something.
So far, neither the voice from the grave nor the living has been heard. The murder case of Chanel Walker Wells is still open.
I heard from my parents and her boys, most of all.
The Walkers are part of a group across our city that no one wants to belong to.
And I'm asking you, as a grieving father and the rest of my family members, turn these folks in.
After losing their loved ones to crime, they wait for answers, for an arrest, and for conviction. But the road to closure can be long.
I don't feel like that is being worked on like other cases.
We won't stop until we talk to every single person.
It's a natural feeling for these families who watch media reports of other murders quickly getting solved.
I'm happy, for those victims and for those families, but in my case, I can't believe it. It's like, where did the ball drop in our situation, or what went wrong?
And the numbers seem to support those feelings. In 2015, 87% of homicides involving white victims were considered solved by IMPD. But when the victim was black, the rate dropped to 50%.
I understand the perception, but I don't think it's factual. I'm pretty confident it's not factual that any of the detectives take a different look at a case because it's a black person or a white person.
We solve crimes based on evidence, but mostly based on witnesses and what they tell us.
Police Chief Troy Riggs says the culture of people not speaking up when they see something suspicious must be addressed, in addition to meeting the quality of life needs.
We did see an initial bump of a 35% increase in tips coming from some of our focus areas after gleaners went in and started feeding individuals and helping citizens, and they saw their first responders involved. People saw that we were valuing their life.
Some believe people don't share with police what they know because they're afraid of becoming a targeted victim.
We really, really don't want to know who you are. We don't have caller ID. We don't have anything that identifies you.
Crime Stoppers eliminates the fear and bridges the gap between the community and the police.
Okay, and who did you call about?
From a call to the computer and now a new phone app.
All of this is prompted. We're going to ask you for names if you have names, addresses.
P3 Tips is another option that protects any and everyone who shares information.
Sometimes that little tip that you have is that little thread that unravels everything. And in 30 years, we've never given up a tipster.
It's that kind of uncompromising trust that the police department hopes to rebuild by returning to the old beat system. Officers will patrol smaller areas and walk the streets.
It can't be a program, it can't be some type of initiative, it has to be a philosophy.
The chief says community policing will help build relationships between police and citizens, boosting a public confidence and trust that can result in cooperation from potential witnesses. But for many of the families, like the Walkers, who are anxiously waiting for their cases to be solved, they say regular communication with detectives goes a long way to let them know they're not forgotten.
It's hard to have that contact that you want to have. So we're going to reevaluate our staffing, not only in patrol, but do we need additional staffing in our investigative bureau to reach out that people feel like they have a one-on-one connection.
Crime can happen to anyone.
We pray, oh God, because you said to pray.
Including Pastor Malachi Walker, who's been on the front lines for years, praying with other crime victims and teaching lessons of leadership, integrity, and honor to young boys during a summer camp. A father misses his daughter, Chanel Walker Wells, who sometimes appears in a sister's dreams with a message to keep fighting for answers.
When I see her, I kind of reach out to her and I ask her, are you okay? And all she did was look at me and smile. And at that moment, I think I realized that she was okay, and that she was happy for what we were doing for her boys and for the case, and to know that we were still fighting for her. And I think that's what that smile was all about. It was more like a, don't worry, I'm good. You guys are good.
It keeps you going.
Yes.
Again, sending a tip to Crime Stoppers by phone, computer, or the new phone app is completely anonymous. They do not need nor do they want to know your name. Now, we have a link to the new phone app, P3 Tips. Just go to our website at WTHR.com.